Okay, so I don't have any makeup on. I'm kind of a mess. It's later in the day than I would like for it to be filming anything at all. But I just had so much to talk about. I wanted to get it off my chest, and it's been a while since I filmed anyways, so I thought we should do that. Hello, we are talking about knitting today. More knitting, not like we need more knitting, but welcome to Magical Girl Maya's knitting podcast. I am Skip Red on Ravelry and Magical Girl Maya basically everywhere else, Instagram, Twitter, so on and so forth. And this is my knitting podcast, or it will be when I finish filming it. Last week was the DFW Fiber Fest, and I was really excited to go because there were so many yarn dyers and artists and people just in general that I really wanted to see. And I knew it'd be a really great chance to kind of experience new yarn dyers and try new things. And I also wanted to pick up some sock blockers. I didn't own any. Sock blockers were like the first thing on my mind. I had actually purchased some off Etsy and they hadn't arrived yet. And I also purchased some project bags that hadn't arrived yet. So I bought more sock blockers and more project bags while I was at the DFW Fiber Festival. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just been patient, but now I have like 19 of both. So I won't run out. That's nice. Oh, also I've cut my hair and I'm filming in a slightly more open location than last time when I was like right up in your face. I apologize for being right up in your face. But yes, back to sock blockers. I had seen these sock blockers. I don't remember who had them. I see this design all the time. It's just a plain sock blocker with a little cutout on the top for whatever animal. So my husband loves hedgehogs. So I got him these large sock blockers that should work for the socks that I make him with the hedgehogs on top. And I also picked him up this super adorable little hedgehog progress marker. I got the little hedgehog progress marker off of Etsy. I will have to post the name of the shop, but I ordered it and it got here pretty quick considering I'm pretty sure she just made it by hand. I could be wrong, but yeah. So I picked up these for my husband's socks because he's so spoiled. And then I picked up a pair for myself with little alpacas on them, and I love alpacas. I just think they're the cutest things. So those are two of the more like reasonable things that I picked up while I was there. I also picked up this bag from Erin Lane Bags. Hopefully y'all can see how cute this is. It's got the little llama print up here and then this little like chevron print down at the bottom. And this was really ridiculously affordable considering that it is basically a bucket and it's got my mystery knit along inside of it. We can talk about that in a second. But we had an amazing time at the DFW Fiber Festival. Tila was really funny because she was telling me, she was like, I can't believe how many young people there are here. And I was like, yeah, knitting is cool. That's why I do it, because I'm so cool. I met Robin of Teeny Button Studio, and I told her that we're going to be best friends, and she's out of New Orleans, and she makes amazing yarn. I bought like literally almost everything she had in stock, so you'll see that in a second, because I'm definitely gonna have to talk about stash enhancement after the DFW Fiber Festival, because I'm a crazy person and I bought way too much stuff. I spent way too much money. I am on a complete llama and alpaca kick because I bought these bags from the By the Bay Yarn Co. Again, much like with Jinx Yarn, I am trying to buy a lot of local things to me. And in Dallas, there's not too much that's like super local that I can like walk down the street and get. But I can support fellow Texas creators and dyers. And I bought this for my friend Tila for going to the DFW Fiber Fest with me. She loves llamas. She actually got this Erin Lane bag, the same bag I got, but she got the slightly bigger version. And she's literally just using it as a purse, basically, because she's so in love with it. So I got her this tiny little bag. It has these little clips inside, or little clasps. And it's quite small, but it'll be perfect for socks or whatever she wants to use it for. It'll be good to go on the inside of her much larger bag. And also from Buy the Bay Yarn Co., I ordered 2 giant Maddie bags for myself, and I learned about her through the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast. I think that's their name. It's not safe for me to watch their podcast because they talk about something and then I sort of pause the podcast and immediately go and buy whatever it is they've just talked about. They are very bad for my bank account. I cannot listen to them. They're dangerous for me. But I picked up the giant, I didn't have any large project bags. I've made the only project bag I have, so I picked up the giant Maddie bag in 2 colors. This is avocado, and I love this little like handle here, and it's canvas. It's huge. I'm not even doing it justice in any way, shape, or form, but it's got some pockets right here, and these little drawstrings on the side. But yeah, this is literally huge. Like, huge. And it's got a box bottom, and it's just gigantic. It literally lives up to the name, the gigantic Maddie bag. So I have that in avocado, and now this might be weird for some people, but our #1 wedding color when we got married was vermilion. Like, it's just a like bright orangish red color. So I had to get, oh my god, it's like blowing out, it's so bright. I had to get it in the bright orange that she had on her Etsy site because I just couldn't pass up a giant orange bag. I just couldn't do it. And again, it's just gigantic, and it's got these pockets, and I can put my little notions in there. It's gonna be great, especially for sweaters, or if I had had these while I was making the baby blanket, they would have been a literal lifesaver. And since I've had news recently, I will most likely be making yet another baby blanket for a friend of mine. I also bought this progress marker right here, which I had to have it because I do so much knitting in the Hippo for the Holidays colorways from Lolo Did It, that when I saw a bright yellow Hippo progress marker, I just couldn't resist. And this is so cute. It's actually a little bit heavy for the socks I was just making because they're very delicate. But when I ordered it, the shop owner also sent me this beautiful little clay creation that her child had made, and I love that. That's why I buy things off Etsy. That's why I buy things from small companies, you know. And it was just the coolest thing, and it made my day. And there was a little note inside that said, you know, my kid also wanted to send you something, and it makes it so worth it to buy things off Etsy and wait the extra days. Yes, you can buy things off Amazon, but you're not gonna get a cute little toy out of it. We're gonna move on to some finished objects because I actually have a few. Now, I told y'all, I believe in the last podcast, that I was going to make the Cal and Mari from Susan Claudino, No Knit Sherlock. And I was making it out of a real small fabric, and he came out adorable. He's so cute. He's so tiny. He's so, like, this is my hand. This is the toy. I had originally had all these like wild aspirations of putting a big Superman S right here on the back. He is literally too small for any red thread or yarn that I own to actually put the S on his back. But he has these tiny little fins and tiny little legs, and he's so cute. So I wanted to show you guys before I mailed him off because he is just the freaking cutest, and he knit up so quick, and I loved making him. And I loved making him so much And my husband loved him so much that he asked me to make him a couple of, he actually only asked me to make him one stuffy, and I made Wasabi. Wasabi is now finished. The eyes are wonky, so ignore that, but Wasabi is finished. These cute little fins, his little tail, and he loved Wasabi so much, but he also loved calamari so much that I couldn't resist. And again, I have a weird orange obsession. I couldn't resist making him a little buddy for Wasabi of his own. So this is Wasabi, and I'm calling this one Ginger. So we've got Ginger and Wasabi, and they are best friends, despite the fact that my husband is afraid of giant squid and does like sperm whales because they kill giant squids and protect us from all those giant squids that would attack us otherwise. But they're best friends, and Ginger has tentacles that are good for hugging. So she's been a lovely little addition to the family. Moving on to my other finished objects. I had one of these done in my last video, but since I finished both, I wanted to show you. And these are also on another set of sock blockers that I'm in love with, madly in love with, and I will post the link down below. But these are my Hippo for St. Patrick's Day socks. This is Hippo for St. Patrick's Day, and the heels and toes are in Sassenach? Again, I cannot say it. I don't watch Outlander, so I don't know how they say it. Feel free to like literally spell it out for me in the comments somewhere. And these sock blockers are a gift to humanity. They're sharks. Sharks. How cool are these? And they fit my socks perfectly. They work out wonderfully. I love them. And they look awesome while my socks are, you know, being blocked on them, to the point that people come over all the time and they're like, oh, that's a pretty sock. Is that a shark? And I'm like, yeah, I have shark sock blockers because I'm a cool kid. My next pair of finished socks, because I was just on like a crazy sock craze apparently, is the Piece of My Heart sock. It's a free pattern on, oh, that reminds me. Again, as per the last episode, this is the Hermione's Everyday sock. I mentioned that last time. And this is the Piece of My Heart sock, which actually turned out a bit shorter up the leg than I thought it would, but I kind of prefer that because I like a shorter leg. And this is the Hippo for Valentine's Day because I'm apparently going in reverse order. I haven't made Easter socks, despite the fact that it was Easter like a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago. I don't know what time it is anymore. And then the heels and toes are in Sriracha, which is also a Lolo Did It colorway. And these are amazing. They're so pretty. And they're on my little alpaca sock blockers that I picked up at the DFW Fiber Fest. But this was so pretty. It was actually a slower knit than I thought it would be because of like all the patterning and the holes. For some reason I was like, yeah, I'll totally blast through this because I really feel like I just blasted through the Hermione's Everyday pattern. But this took me a bit longer, and the pattern itself is not, it's just the actual like heart pattern. It's not like, it's 15 rows of 2x2 rib, and then it just gives you the pattern for the heart, and then it lets you put in whatever heel and whatever toe you want yourself. So I learned how to do a new heel. I learned how to do the Afterthought heel, and when I tried these on, actually none of these have been blocked. The St. Patrick's Day socks have been blocked, but the Valentine's Day socks haven't been blocked. And so I tried it on before I blocked it because I wanted to see if it was gonna work. Otherwise I was gonna completely take it out and put in a new heel. But this was my first time ever just like putting in some waist yarn, coming back out, taking it out, and putting in a heel. I'm putting in an Afterthought heel. It's my first ever Afterthought heel. And I love it. I think this might actually be my preferred heel. I kind of don't like doing the like Aya Partridge heel and like heel wrap and gusset and heel turn and whatever all the words are. I can't think of them right now, but the heel flap, heel turn, and gusset, I just don't like it. It's boring and it's a lot of work, but I like short row heels. I don't have an issue with short row heels. Short rows make a lot of sense to me. I know a lot of people are scared of them, but I really like afterthought heels and toes. So that was really fun to get to learn how to do that. I have exactly one work in progress, just one, and it is my version of the Curious Handmade Mystery Knit Along, Impressionists Mystery Knit Along. So if you are doing that right now or are interested in doing it, time it out. We're gonna go to a commercial break. I wanted to show you guys my progress on it because I'm really enjoying it. This is my first ever mystery knit along. It's my first knit along in general. We are on, I think I got clue 3 yesterday, so we're like halfway done. I'm still on clue 1 because I was so busy finishing the socks and I've been super distractible lately and doing a million other things and, you know, living my life. But I am using all Jinx yarns. I am using, oh, these are a mess. You can tell they've been like rolling around in my project bag. This is called The Cake is a Lie. And hopefully y'all can see that. It's beautiful. It's like a really light gray with darker gray, blue, orange, all the colors from Portal on it basically. So that's my color 1. My color 2 is Part of Your World. My color 3 is Guardian, which I showed in my last podcast. The other 2 I believe are new, but this is Guardian. Lots of purples and blue and gray and black, a little bit of, I think, orange. It's so beautiful. So these are the colors I'm using, but it's gonna go like light, medium, and then dark over here. This is mine. It's got this like little edging down here. Hopefully you guys can see all of this, but this section right here is just The Cake is a Lie, and then you can see it sort of fades in some of the Part of Your World. And I'm literally like 2 or 3 rows away from adding the 3rd color. But for right now, I'm really in love with this. I think it's so pretty. I know I'm not really doing it justice in any way, shape, or form, but I just think it's so pretty. And it's a shawl, and it'll be, I'm assuming it'll be kind of big, but yeah, I think it's so, so pretty. Let me know if y'all are doing that because I would love to have some people to do it with, to know I'm doing it with people, because I know other people are doing it, but I feel like a crazy person who's just like doing some group knitting by herself. Trying to get a couple of my friends into it as well. So I might have gone a little overboard with some of the things that I bought at the DFW Fiber Fest. And, you know, it's expected. You don't have that much pretty stuff in front of you that often, unless you work at a yarn store, I guess. But I bought my first ever sock blank from, what is this? Melting Pot Fibers. And it is just so, I almost dropped it there. It is so insane. I don't even think that the camera is really doing it that much justice. It's just so beautiful and like groovy and far out. I've never seen anything like this. And the guy who owns it was just such a sweetheart. He just wanted to know what it was gonna look like. And he was like, please, 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 when you knit a pair of socks out of it, or whatever you're gonna knit out of it, send me a picture. I really wanna know how this looks when it's all knit up. But I just couldn't pass it up. It's just, looks like a tiny universe. I love it. It's so beautiful and bizarre, and I can't wait to see how it looks. And it's going to be an experience. There's no other version of this anywhere else, so that's so cool to me. I really fangirled out, and my friend Tila made fun of me because Laura of Jinx Yarn was there and she checked me out, and I was trying really hard to be a totally normal person and not be like, I'm in love with your yarns, they're so beautiful, I have so many of them. But I failed, and I think she knows that I'm weird. So, whatever, live your truth. But I picked up 5 yarns in total, 2 of which you've already seen, and one of those was Lucky, which, hello, how beautiful is that? It's dark green with some teal and turquoise and gray, like, I don't even know if you can see that. And this is a, let's see, 100% superwash merino, so it's beautiful. I think these are bases she's not really using anymore, but how just stunning is that? My one complaint though, after balling these up and making a project with them, is that I don't care for these ball bands because they're so thick. I can't like store the information. I can't roll them up and store them inside the actual like cake of yarn. I just cut this section with the name and like material information off and put it in a little book. And the next one I got from her was this 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, single merino is the name of the yarn, in the color First Bloom. And I just thought that was so beautiful, and I don't have anything that looks like this, either because of the style of the yarn or because of the colors. I love lots of vibrant colors, but I don't own a lot of greens or purples really, or a lot of natural colors, obviously. And I tend to stick with this like very, you know, colorful median. Like all my colors are a little bit different from each other, but they're all sort of in the same family. So I got 2 greens to kind of mix it up for me. And then the third color I got from Jinx is completely outside of my wheelhouse. And this is also a single merino, 100% superwash merino in the color Pegasus. How freaking pretty is this? I don't do a lot of pink ever. So it's pinks and gray and this like really light brown and black. And it looks like there's a little bit of like purple and blue in there as well. I don't know if you can see that very well. Hopefully the light is like dying on me. I apologize, but it's just, I don't own anything else like it. And it's so pretty. I ordered these 2 yarns after hearing about this company from Yarn Hoarder podcast, the Yarn Hoarder podcast. I love that podcast. It is deeply soothing to me. And she talked about cat sandwich fibers, and I went to go look at their shop, like, again, immediately, because I am like an impulse shopper. And she didn't have anything on the shop. So I came back a couple weeks later and I ordered some stuff from her because I just loved what, you know, she had on her Instagram. I loved what she had in her photo gallery and what people had used of hers. I just thought it was all so beautiful. And so I saw something and I was like, oh, I gotta have that. And then she also had a mystery kind of like subscription box style thing, or a March box, I think is what she called it. And the first one that I saw that I was like, I have to have that because it looks like something Twinkie Chan would have, and I just can't not have it. It's called Lavender by the Bay, and it is 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And it literally looks like pastel funfetti goody nonsense. Like, it's so beautiful. It looks like sprinkles. It's just pastel and sprinkles. And I love it. And I'm not sure I will ever use it because it's so beautiful. This was the like mystery box, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it is a bunch of very beautiful different colors, like a bunch of mini skeins. And it almost creates its own fade. I'm pretty sure that's what she meant it for. But this one was called Dried Roses on My Wall. And it's just this collection of these really beautiful, like dusty rose, mauve, purple colors. I am glad that I got the box and that I didn't know what was coming in it, because I never in a million years would have bought these. But now that I have them, my imagination is running wild with all the things I could possibly do with them. I bought these because I was like, I should definitely make something with them. And then I got them home and I was kind of like, really? Do I need that? Like, this is the only 2 yarns that I was like, meh. But I think once I get started on them, because I've never used self-striping yarn, I think I'll like them a lot once they get going. But right now I was looking at them and I was like, why did I do that? But again, I've never owned self-striping yarn, and those are the Must Stash yarns. This one is Boba. They're Star Wars, so that's why I bought them, like literally. But this is Boba, and it's all of Boba Fett's colors. And it is just stunning. Like, I don't know if the camera is doing it any justice. But actually, I thought Boba was going to be the color that everybody was like, yeah, I want that one. No, everyone is fighting over her Ray color. And I see why. I almost don't want to share it with other people. It's so beautiful. I don't know if you guys can really, like, are getting just all the grays and, you know, neutral greens and blues and stuff, but it's just stunning. So I kind of, like, everyone wants this, and I almost don't want to share. The new love of my life that I have discovered, I'm sorry, Alex, if you're watching this, you are gonna have to move out because this yarn has taken your place. And that is Teeny Button Studio. And I mentioned earlier that I had met Robin there, and she is just so cute. And so much of her yarn is named after Louisiana, New Orleans, where she's from, but I am from Louisiana as well, so that was like a definite moment for me. And then the stuff that's not named after Louisiana is named after Harry Potter. So I was like, oh, we're best friends. You just don't know it yet, but we're best friends. And I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 of her yarns that I can find right now. There might be more that have run away from me. But I bought most of them in soft sock, I think. Almost all of them in soft sock, actually. Which is 75/25 merino nylon, superwash merino nylon. And this color is called the Burrow. I had to have it. And I was telling her actually while I was there, I would really love to do a charity knit along for, I don't know what cause to choose yet, but I would love to do a Harry Potter themed charity sock knit along. I think that would be great. I think we could all knit some socks and just drop them off at, you know, a children's hospital or a homeless shelter, or I know the DFW Fiber Festival is there to benefit the World War II museums, and they make scarves and things for vets, especially homeless vets. And so I think that would be a great thing to do, make socks and mittens and scarves and hats and stuff for vets. So leave me a comment if y'all would like to do a Harry Potter themed sock or small garment knit along. I would love to do that, so just let me know. And then the next one is called Radish Earrings, which is so beautiful. It's got pink and mauve and purple and a little bit of green and brown and gray, and of course it's a Luna Lovegood reference, so I had to have it because Luna Lovegood is the best. Weasley Twins Snowball Fight, and literally I picked this, I had this in my hand, this color in my hand, and I kept coming back to it in all the different other like types of yarn that she had, and I realized I was like, I just love it. Like, it's just beautiful. And that is this color, and that is just so, this is my wheelhouse, like right here with the purples and the blue, orange, yellow, green, cream, like it's, oh, is this not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Is it not? Like, she is just so talented. I love this color so much. I want to be buried in it. So beautiful. Oh, this was another one I kept coming back to. Everything to do with the Weasleys, I just kept coming back to it. I am secretly a Weasley, okay? Just let me have this. This is Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, which is dark purples and oranges and blues and reds. I think a little bit of black, I can't really tell, but oh, it is vibrant, jewel-toned, stunning goodness. And this is her solo single, which is 100% superwash merino. And it is just beautiful. I just love this. It's so pretty. And then the next one was probably what actually drew me to her booth before I saw the 2 Weasley colorways. And that was this. It was like hanging on the outside of it. And it's called the Owlery. And she is actually, I'm internet stalking her on Instagram, and she is making the Impressionist Mystery Knit Along with this color as well, and a couple other of her colors. And it's just this beautiful like light blue and natural colors with these like orange and brown speckles on it. And I'm just so in love. I'm so in love with this color. And it's so beautiful. And this next one was also a solo single, and it was really outside of my comfort zone. This is not like, for somebody who loves pastels and who loves spring and loves Easter time, it's like, I don't own a lot of stuff that I would knit with those colors. I just don't. And this one is called Lockhart, of course, because Professor Lockhart. And it's all of his forget-me-not blues and pastel, you know, purples and pinks and greens. And it's stunning. It is beautiful. And I love it. But it's just, if Tila hadn't picked this out for me and said, no, you need this, I never would have picked this up for myself. It's just not something, I'm much more comfortable with this and these like darker, you know, tones than I am with these like bright highlight pastel colors. And then I also, this is the last of the Harry Potter ones, I promise. I picked up her Diagon Alley mini skein set, which are $75.25. And it's just, oh, sorry, it's crinkling so bad and it's gonna catch all the light, but it is so pretty. I loved it, and it has a whole mess, an array of colors that I thought were just stunning. Another solo single, and Bourbon, and I would say Boudin, but I could be wrong. Boudin, that's how I would say it in my southern way. And it's just these beautiful, again, these are the colors I'm much more comfortable with, but the browns and gray and black and blue, orange, yellow, very like, I don't know, deep earth tones as opposed to jewel tones and pastel tones. I just think it's beautiful, and I'm gonna cast this on when we fly out to New Orleans later this year. So excited. So my last little bit for this is that today, while we were out, I went to West 7th Wool in Fort Worth, and my husband encouraged me, because we had gone out to go to Turning Point Brewery and the Collective Project, the Collective Brewing Project, which is awesome. If you ever end up in Fort Worth, Texas, go to the Collective Brewing Project. They have amazing beer. They had this like pop-up brunch stand, and this woman made us amazing brunch. And it's a little over an hour from where I live personally, but it was worth it. Like, it was so much fun. And my husband loved it because he loves beer and brewing, and it was just so up his alley. And so to make up for the fact that I had spent like over an hour in the car and then like 2 hours between beer places, 2 or 3 hours between beer places, he took me to a yarn store that was like 10 minutes away when we were already so far out. He's like, look, it would be an hour and 20 minutes to come back, so let's just go while we're already out here. And I bought a surprisingly limited amount of yarn. I bought one skein of yarn, and he actually picked it out because he told me it was something I would never buy for myself, and it's in a weight I would never buy for myself, and it is a collection of colors I would never buy for myself. But again, buying local, buying things made in Texas, buying sustainable things. I'm pretending I'm on this like trend of being a responsible adult. I'm not. But he picked up this color Piñata Pop for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with one skein of DK fluorescent yarn. I'll probably make a stuffy of some kind. But my God, is this beautiful. It is stunning. I'm kind of amazed that he picked it out, but also glad that he picked it out, because I wouldn't have chosen this for myself. This would not have ended up in my hands in this weight in a million years. But I think he liked it, and he saw it, and he was like, you're getting this. And I said, okay, I'm getting it. I think he also picked this. He actually picked all the yarn I got today, because I think he wants like some say in something if it's going to take over his life, like my yarn has. And so this is the Tankatsu I think that's the type of yarn, and then the color is 21 Lot A. And he saw this, and I also don't own, I feel like I own plenty of blues, but he said I don't own enough. And he saw this and he was in love with it. He was just like, this is stunning. You need this. You're going to buy it. And I was like, okay, I can buy it. It's pretty. But I think he wants something out of it. And I don't really know what it's 125 meters for 50 grams. And he was like, I want socks out of this. And I was like, oh, those would be really thick socks, but I'll see what I can do. I'll probably end up making him get another stuffy out of it or something. But it's just beautiful, and it's made in Japan, and Japan is our favorite place to visit and place to go, and he wants to live there. When I was there, I was excited because I saw some physical copies of Pom Pom magazine, and I have been wanting to buy Pom Pom magazine for 1,000,000 years, but I never find any place that carries it. So I got the premiere issue, the anniversary copy of the premiere issue, because you can't not have it, and it's got some great stuff in it. And I was going through it and I realized I was like, I don't own anything in these weights either. Like, everything I own is in sock and fingering weight, and a little bit of DK weight, and a little bit of like worsted, and I think one skein of bulky. Exactly one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with one skein of bulky, but I own it. But I was going through all of them, and they're just so beautiful. And you can find them on Ravelry, but I like having physical copies of things, so I'm a crazy person. And I also picked up a color wheel because my husband thinks I have no sense of color direction because I will put anything with anything. So yeah. Sorry, that's gonna be like an hour long, I apologize. But yeah, I just had a lot to talk about, a lot of stash enhancement, a few finished objects, one object on the needles, and just a lot of overall excitement. So hopefully I haven't bored you too much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!